Green light. Here we are at the end of the semester. I'm talking to 7 of you. I'm talking to Darren. I'm talking to Emmy. I'm talking to the 2 Ellies, Trevor, Emma, and Lena. Just wanted to give you a couple of pointers about the humor essay. You'll notice that in this email where you found this little video, there's also a link to a blog post on the New York Times blog posting site, which has many of the same points I'm making here. You want to be funny. This is your last essay this semester. You want to end it in a funny note. I think it's great. Good job on your last essay, by the way. So the question is, what are the requirements? It's due Friday, April 24th. It should be 3.5 to 4.5 pages, somewhere in that range. Should be funny. That's it. What do you need? What do you need? What has to be there before you're funny? You need 3 things. You need a humorous concept, okay? In other words, you have to be funny. In order to be funny, you need to be funny. How can I teach you to be funny? I can't teach you. It happens or it doesn't. You have to start with something that is inherently humorous, the basic idea. The second thing you need is, when you're writing this, to do it in an interesting way. Like, tell the story of a baseball game backwards. Have a humorous essay that's composed of nothing but the subject lines of emails in which you trace your humorously declining relationship with your cousin or something like that. You do something that's just not quite the norm. You break from convention in the form, in the organization, in the structure. And then 3, even though you're getting unconventional, don't forget, people love stories. You need a beginning, you need a middle, you need an end. And in the actual composing of your sentences, how do you get funny? Well, just think about these things. I'll try to give you some examples. Consider the mystical 3, using the number 3. First 2 sentences are the setup, the third sentence is the punchline. 3 is a great number. 3 always works. So think about the mystical 3. I'll give you an example of that in a second. Consider hyperbole. Hyperbole is a Greek word. It just means exaggeration. Exaggerating is funny. Consider incongruence, incongruity. That is something that's kind of absurd. It doesn't seem to make sense. Something's out of place. Play with that incongruity of things. And consider parodying. That is poking fun at speech patterns, at ethics, people's lack of ethics, and poking fun. Parodies. Here are a couple of sentences from that New York Times blog. Dissecting a frog, how to write a humor piece. That's what I'm looking at right here. Analyzing humor, as E.B. White famously said, is like dissecting a frog. Few people are interested, and the frog dies of it. Okay, so what do you want to have? You want to have a successful, short, humorous piece, right? It begins with a strong concept or premise that immediately suggests something funny. Like, here's something funny. Here's a title. The title itself announces that this is a humorous essay. This essay is entitled Rockin' It, Frat Party Style, a short story geared to college students written by a 30-something author. That's the title. It's a long title. Rockin' It, Frat Party Style, a short story geared to college students written by a 30-something author. What's funny about that? You might not be laughing, but you note the humor in that, right? It hints at, because he doesn't know how to really sound like a college student, he's trying to from the outside. It's showing he's self-parodying. He's mocking himself. He's trying to be cool, but he's not cool. So his inept grasp of collegiate life and lingo. Think about there are pieces in D2L under content in the folder called Humor and Satire. There's one that appeared in The Onion. It's kind of a funny title. It says All 7 Deadly Sins. Where is that title? Yeah. All 7 Deadly Sins committed at church bake sale. That is hyperbolic, right? All the 7 deadly sins are committed. It is incongruous because you wouldn't expect 7 deadly sins to be occurring at a church bake sale. That's absurd. So you have to start with something funny. And so that whole story is just somebody walking around a church bake sale and noting people sort of losing self-control and not behaving with Christian brotherly love at the bake sale. That's kind of funny. There's another one on D2L in the content section. It's called What's in Your Toothpaste? And the writer of that is trying to scare you a little bit by doing a mock scientific tone and describing all of the elements, the chemical additives in the toothpaste, which is a scary thing because you put toothpaste on the toothbrush in your mouth every day. So that is in itself a humorous situation. So you want to start with a humorous situation, like for a week you eat nothing but dog food, and then you organize a humorous essay by title of dog foods, or by texture of canned foods, or you start with dry, then you go to wet. You do the humorous concept. It's reflected in your title. You use the number 3, the couple of setups, and then the punchline. I think I had that here somewhere. Yeah, here's 3. The concept, form, and narrative constitute the bones of the piece. So you want a good concept, you want an interesting form in your essay, and you want a narrative, a beginning, middle, and end. Even though you're playing around, you're being different, you still want to deliver on the basic components of a story. Now you have to fill it in with humorous flesh, he says. We instinctively employ a number of comedic tricks and techniques all the time in conversation, but it's useful to identify them. One of the most common is the rule of 3. List 2 expected items, then deviate preposterously for the third, as in Jason Roeder's titled piece, Amendments to the Pub Crawl, where a debauched night out gets tamer with each revision from the organizer. Every hour's activities are capitalized. So that's the unusual form of this humorous story of somebody who's taking people out for a pub crawl, where you go from pub to pub to pub. But this is a humorous piece because it gets progressively more boring as the night goes along. 9 p.m. This is the unconventional form. The author organizes this piece by hour of the night. So unconventional form. And then here's one of the language tricks, the number 3. Y'all want this party started, right? Sentence number 1. Please keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times because this coaster of the damned is rolling on. That's sentence number 2. The 2 sentences. Now here comes the punchline in the third. However, I'm going to have to first head home and give my parakeet his ear medication. That's a joke. And it came in the third sentence. 2 sentences of setup, and the third sentence delivers the punchline. You want your essay to be full of punchlines. You want there to be jokes. And so consider hyperbole, exaggeration. I mean, it's exaggeratedly, unsatisfying to have to deviate from a pub crawl to go feed not even an exotic bird, a sickly parakeet. Needs to give him his ear medication. That's kind of funny, right? Because it's reversing the whole hype thing. It's an exaggeration to the downside. So, and it's also incongruous that he has to stop this party to go and minister to his sickly parakeet. Anyway, I'm at 9 minutes here, and good luck with your essays. If you have any questions, email me. All right.